If you have never tried kelewele before, then you should. Hello everyone, today we are making kelewele and we're going to be using ripe plantains, some salt, some ginger, some red chili powder, some blended onions and some anise seeds. Now the first thing we want to do is to peel our plantains and then cut them into nice diagonals. You're simply just going to take them off. If there are any stringy bits, take that off as well, and then you're going to halve the plantains and then just cut them into diagonals. Pretty easy. If you've got a super sharp knife, then please don't do what I'm doing. Cut it on a board so that you don't chop your fingers off. The knife I'm using is not particularly sharp, so it's sharp enough for me to use but not sharp enough for me to damage myself. Also, I know what I'm doing, so disclaimer, don't do it like this, just use a chopping board. Now kelewele is one of those things that is a treat to eat. It is usually found sold by the roadside in the evenings, and nothing beats a roadside kelewele. I mean, it's the best thing ever. And I guess this recipe is close to sort of replicating it if you don't have the chance to get out and buy it. Now that we've got our plantains all cut up, what we're going to do is to prepare our spice. Now, because my grains of Selim are quite hard, I'm just going to pound them a bit to release all the flavor. In Ever, it's called a cho. And then we're going to mix the ginger with the onions and the red chili powder as well as the anise seeds. Now, if you have the anise seeds in their seed form, you can also just grind them. But in this particular case, I had the powder, so that was easier for me to use. So once we've done that, we're going to add our grains of Selim and just mix that properly together. Make sure that we've added enough salt. And then we're going to add that to the plantains and then stir that well. Now another thing is that your plantains, the softer your plantains are, the more oil they will soak up. So I tend to like my plantains ripe but not so soft that they soak up so much oil. You also don't want them to be ripe and too hard, because then you don't get that sweetness that you would typically find in kelewele. So you really want to find a fine balance between ripe and really hard and ripe and really soft. You want to find something in the middle. Now, once we've spiced everything up, we're going to leave that to just sit for a couple of minutes, just say about 30 minutes before we actually get to frying. We're going to heat up some oil. We're going to deep fry these ones, and you realize that the spice that we have around the plantain is quite wet, so you just want to make sure that it's not burning. As usual, we want to make sure that our frying pan is not crowded, so that each of the diagonals have enough space to move about. That's really important. So every now and again, just turn it around to make sure that they're all getting an even color. We also want to make sure that we're not frying the grains of Selim. As you can see, I've picked them out. We're going to fry the plantain in batches, just little batches, just enough that they have enough space in the oil, like I said. And once that's done, you make sure that you drain them, and that is basically your kelewele recipe. Now, you can also spice the kelewele just using dry spices. So if you have your onion powder or your ginger powder, you can make everything just really dry. You can go either way, really. Now, kelewele is usually eaten with groundnuts or peanuts, but you can also have it with, if you're having your jollof rice, you can have some kelewele on the side. It's really great as a snack. It's great to add to your meals. It's just really, really beautiful flavor. If you are a person who doesn't like peppery stuff, then you can reduce the amount of red chili peppers. I like spice, so I just pack on the peppers. That is perfect for me. But you can reduce it. Full recipe is on gingerandseasalt.com, so you can adjust accordingly. And then if you're feeling a bit more brave and you want to add on the chili for the second time, you can do that, and then let me know how it goes. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on my next one. Happy eating!